Hey there, my name is Israel Lewis. I'm a senior in high school, and I really enjoy philosophical conversations about problem solving and figuring things out. And today I'm going to be working on my senior project where I ask people who inspire me questions that helped get them to where they are today. Today I'm going to be talking to my friend, my family, she's just the greatest. I like to call her Miss Melissa, but she's also grandma in my eyes. So let's get right into it. All right. Hey, Miss Melissa. Today we're going to be just asking a few questions just to give seniors like myself some insight into, what should we look for in the future? Give us some guidance. So, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's get right into it. So the first question is, what were you like in high school?
Um, I wish I had been a little more mature in high school. Um, I think I was really insecure, as many teenagers are, but I had a lot of insecurities. And I wish that I had focused more on academics. And I'm being very honest, I was more interested in my social life. I would advise any high schooler to enjoy personal relationships, but to be very focused on studies.
All right. So with that being said, how was your process in choosing a major? In those late stages of high school and like figuring out what you wanted to do. Like, walk me through that a little bit.
Okay. So when I was in high school, and it was during that period of time, there was a childbirth defect from rubella, which was measles, and a lot of children were born deaf. So Charlotte started this speech and hearing center, and in the summers I would do volunteer work with these deaf children. So when it came time to look at colleges, I knew that Converse University had a very good speech and hearing major. So I thought that was a really good place for me to go. My freshman year, I took an optional course in political science, and that was it. And I majored in political science, and I loved it. It was a good switch for me.
Gotcha. That's a huge choice in someone's life, right? But in general, what do you think was the biggest choice that you've made that led you to where you are today? Just the biggest ways. What is the biggest choice that put you where you are?
Boy, that's a loaded one.
Yeah, it's a big one. It's a huge one.
That's loaded. I think that, my era is different than your era, and things do change over time.
Yeah.
But if I were to do something different, it would be to take some time after college to learn to live on my own, support myself, and just have those experiences of being in your 20s.
Yeah.
And I honestly made a choice after college to get married.
Gotcha.
And I did work and did have a career and had a family. But I think I did not know myself as well. And so it didn't end well, but I think it put me in the trajectory of being able to respect myself for having a good career. I benefited with 2 wonderful children. I also have always had a lot of faith. My faith has been a very integral piece of my life. Everybody has struggles, everybody. But for me, knowing that God had a plan for me gave me a lot of peace.
Going through something like faith and in using that to kind of find yourself and figure out who you are, so which helps you find that self-respect and things of that nature. All right.
Yes.
I see.
You got my message.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Additionally, of course, finding the faith is can be very difficult for some people, and there's a lot of people that you might look to not only for in faith but just in general, like I am now, just going to them for advice and things of that nature, just guidance. Who were some of the people in your life that kind of brought you into that lane of thinking and guided you where you really needed help?
That's an easy one
Gotcha.
for me. That's an easy one,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all different. Number one, my father.
Gotcha.
He was a man of dignity, grace, joy, tenderness, and he had a very, very strong faith. And he taught by example. The example he set for us as a family has impacted me from as long as I have a memory of anything. He taught us also how important it is to give back to your community in some form, whether it's volunteering or supporting a cause. He felt that we are all given things that we should give back.
Gotcha.
To those who much is given, much is required. Second would be my best friend in junior high and high school, and her name was Ellen. And Ellen taught me unconditional love. She knew everything about me. She loved me in spite of my faults, my warts, anything. She accepted me as I was. And that is a huge gift.
Yeah.
She is no longer with us, and I do miss her and wish she was in my life. But that's the first time I think I understood what unconditional love was with a friend. And I think that goes directly back to faith and that God loves us with our imperfections.
That's wonderful.
And then I have one more.
Yeah.
And this is kind of getting a little kind of to the side.
Gotcha.
But I've also have a lot of respect for who I consider to be a dear, sweet friend, and that would be Monique Smith. And as I met her through her son, I was his lunch buddy, and they were homeless. And I realized how sheltered I was in my life. That I was aware these situations took place and that people lived like this, but I was like outside that bubble. And I just didn't know a lot about it. And we have continued the relationship. It's been 7-8 years now, and I have watched her through her faith work hard to better their lives and to get out of that situation. And she has shown a tremendous love of God and appreciates what he does, and that inspires me.
Wow, that's amazing. And just to close this out, I'm, I guess, like a young person, and I want to learn more from the people who have gone before me, and that's something I really value. So my question to you, my last question, is, as someone who wants to learn, what are some questions that I should be asking? Like, what are some things that you think I should should be asking my elders, and some things that I should want to know from them?
Oh, that's a lot. That's lofty.
Yeah, it's lofty.
I think you probably would benefit by surrounding yourself with good, solid people, whether that's your contemporaries, someone in their 30s or 40s, or someone getting up into the seasoned years, your parents. And I think that's a good place to get experiences. Obviously, the older the person is, the more experiences they will have to share.
Absolutely.
I think you can learn from mistakes and from other people's mistakes. I know with my own children, I have been very open and shared with them mistakes that I've made and the solutions. Respect those people for what their life journey has been. And I would also, your generation is facing a lot.
Yeah.
This world is so different right now, and it is so divided. I would do everything you could to try to bring things to the center of the table and ask people, what do you think would be good? What would help to bring people together and to stop the bitterness and all the rough things that are going on in this country right now. And I think that's up to your generation.
Gotcha.
It's up to you guys to do that.
Interesting. Yeah. So more asking about like asking the older generations on things that united them, and then trying to incorporate that into our lives.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
And when I think about that, I think back on, and this is, I'm very optimistic about your generation and what you have to offer and the changes that you can make. But I also think one thing that my children and your generation have missed is patriotism.
Gotcha.
My father was of the greatest generation. They called them the greatest generation. And they really were. And they loved country. And my father was 19 years old, a sophomore in college, when Pearl Harbor happened. And there was not any hesitation on any young man or woman's part to fight that war. And I think about Dad, 19, as a test pilot, and the courage that took. And he lived to be 90, and a meal never went by that he did not bless the United States of America and our troops. And I think that is, frankly, something that is missing.
Yeah.
And it's not your generation's fault. It's just love of country and appreciating what we have to offer here and the freedoms. Yeah,
absolutely. I think that this kind of time of peace that we've had for the longest has been good, overall, but without like that enemy, like that that Axis powers that we're all fighting, it kind of has felt like we have to turn on ourselves now, and so bring that unity is important.
It's very important. Very important.
Across partisan lines and across race and all of that, I think that's absolutely something we face.
It is. It needs to be the priority.
Yeah, absolutely.
The priority, absolutely.
I'll leave off with that. Well, thank you again.
Is that it?
I think, yeah, painless, right? Not too bad.
Well, I don't know. I'm just glad I'm not videoed.
Yeah.